Hey Danielle, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so good. It's so nice to see you and hang out with you. Thank you for joining.
It's nice to see you. So nice to meet you as well. It's
Um,
so crazy being on the other side of this. I do lives all the time, but I'm usually always the one on your end. So like sitting here just waiting, I was like,
Yay! Well, I'm so glad you can hopefully relax and enjoy. I started this show back in March of 2020 when COVID just shut the whole world down because I wanted a place where people can come every week and just have fun and hear from their fan favorite, actors and artists that they love to bring some joy. So thank you for keeping the show going and for being here.
no, thank you. And I completely get it. That's why I started going live back in the day too. I was like, it's nice to get on and to have something to look forward to. And the fans love it so much. So it's awesome to do. I'm glad that you love to do it like that too.
Oh, it's so fun. It's so much fun to have you here. And I think a congratulations is in order because I read that the series got renewed, right, for another season.
Talk about perfect timing. I was like, oh my gosh.
I
It's been
know.
a whirlwind of a day of like text messages and phone calls saying congratulations. So it's always exciting, as you know, this industry when you get an early pickup or renewal. So it feels very good. Very
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah. You must be on cloud nine. What was your first reaction when you found out that news?
I was in a little bit of shock at first because it came so early. It's just not was what I was expecting the call to be. So when I got the call before the news came out, I was like, huh? Like, what do you mean?
Right.
So, and then it's slowly hit me as the days gone on. And so now I'm just excited. I'm excited to continue to be on the show and to play Maya Bishop for another season. I literally can't believe it. It's pretty crazy.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. Well deserved. And another congratulations is in order for all of the success in general around Station 19. I mean, this show has taken the world by storm. I know fans are eagerly waiting for the series to return, but I want to bring it back for a minute. What was it that initially attracted you to wanting to do this show in the first place?
I mean, first and foremost, it's a Shondaland show that's tied to Grey's Anatomy. So you know that what Shondaland represents and what they want to put out there and what they strive to achieve. And it's always strong female characters. And I remember reading the character and being like, this would be a dream to play this role. But I also never in a million years thought I was going to book it. Like, I was like, okay, I'm going to go in there and do the best that I can and kind of channel my sister, who's an actual firefighter, as much as I could. And so I kind of just went in and had fun and yeah, it was excited to see what might come of it. But I never thought I was going to get it. So I was attracted to the role because of who she was as a character. But yeah, that would be the main reason.
Wow. And of course, you play fan favorite Maya Bishop. So, what was the audition process like for this role? How did it come about for you? And had you ever auditioned for roles in the Grey's world prior to this?
I can't remember auditioning for any Grey's roles. So if I had, they didn't go anywhere. Like there wasn't a callback or anything. So I don't remember. I know I had auditioned for Linda and Jamie, the casting directors, before, but I don't think it was for Grey's Anatomy. So I'd been in their room before, but not for the show. And I went in an audition, and like I said, I kind of just went in to have fun because I didn't think I was actually going to book it or had any shot in booking it. So I went in just to have fun, had a blast in the room, got a call back with Paris, who used to be our executive director, executive directing producer, and then the third time came in with Stacey McKee, who was our creator. And then after that, they're like, okay, we're just going to send your tapes off to the network and studio to test. And I was like, okay, like was not taking it seriously in that sense. Like I just was like, that was fun to do. Awesome that it went as far as it did. Next. And they were like, you booked it. And kind of like how I heard news about season 6 today, I was like, are you sure? Wait, what? So it's all crazy. It's crazy and was exciting. And I still am pinching myself to this day that this is actually my life. So.
Well, and it's amazing what you created with this character. She's a total fan favorite. She's compassionate. She's strong. She's a badass. I mean, people just love Maya Bishop. What do you love about getting to play the role?
The badass is definitely one of my favorite parts. I mean, she really is a badass, and it's a lot of fun to get to play her. I sometimes forget I'm not an actual firefighter with actual tools and like can actually do these things sometimes. But yeah, I was lucky enough to play a character that's written so well. Like the writers are really the true heroes in this show. Like they write such complicated and nuanced scenes, and really it's a lot of pressure on us as actors to bring them to life on camera and to not screw it up is the way I kind of look at it. Like, please do the best I can. But I've been really lucky to play Maya and the character that she is, and I do love the badass aspect of it the most. But I do love that she's Like, I like that she's, well, I don't know how to say that. She's so layered and complex. And I think all the characters on the show, again, paying tribute to the writing. Like, every character is so complex, and that's what makes it so much fun to play these. I mean, I think all the actors would agree on that. But definitely Maya is so complex, and I've gotten to do so much with her in we're in the 5th season, 5 seasons that, yeah, I can't believe I get to do it for a 6th. Yeah.
Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun you're here on the day of the big news, too.
Yeah.
Now, fans are so invested in the character's relationship with Karina on the show, played by the wonderful Stefania, of course, who, by the way, says hello and says hello to everybody. She was trying to hop on, but she's overseas, so it didn't work out for today. Yeah. She sends her love, and the fans just love that relationship, you know, and from everything that's happened from the season 4 finale, watching you guys get married, to now starting your journey as, you know, partners and possibly parents. What do you love about working with Stefania so closely in this, you know, relationship?
Stefania is a gift to work with. I mean, we had so much fun on set, and it was from day one. It was actually a table read when they were kind of just vibing out our characters and if this relationship was going to be something that worked on the show. And at the table read, we just connected. And I think we kind of have this same passion and energy and excitement about our jobs and life and positivity. And so we kind of just connected, and then we're like, let's get together and run these scenes. And we just had so much fun. And then that translated on camera. And it's just every time I go to set and have scenes with her, I just know we're going to have a blast, and we do. And now we've become such great friends and are there for each other through the good and the bad of the last couple of years. So yeah, it's just a joy getting to work with her, and I'm so lucky. So yeah, I know fans love it too, and I think that we couldn't have asked for a better fan base that are absolutely in love with the Marina relationship, and we're so lucky that it continues to grow. We don't know what the writers are going to write for us, so the fact that a wedding happened last season, and the fact that this season we've decided to have children, or a child, we'll start with one, and go from there is it's exciting. I'm excited to see where it goes.
And the chemistry is incredible, and I think a lot of people pick up on that. You know, in so many movies and shows, you put people together and you don't always get the sense of incredible chemistry, but you guys, it seems like you found it pretty fast. Is that right?
Instantaneous. Like, wow. I remember at our first table read, someone was like, it was silent after we had the first scene, and it was just a weird tension because everybody was like, could feel that chemistry across the table. So I think though it stems from the fact that we're just so passionate and we love our job so much, so we give it our all even at those table reads. And so we just have fun. And it came across. Yeah.
And it shows. It definitely shows. Mm-hmm. You know, what was amazing is when I announced you as my guest on the show, I received so many messages from people around the world, Brazil, Mexico, Indonesia, saying that your character and that storyline means so much to the LGBTQ plus community. So what does it mean to you to know that you're part of something that's literally making people feel seen? That's what the message is coming in said. I feel seen because of what you're putting on TV, what you play, who you play.
It's sometimes it's a lot of pressure just because I know that is doing so. She means so much to so many people, and the relationship means so much to so many people. And I've found myself actually getting more like worried about what we're doing in the show and the scenes we're doing because I know how much weight they hold. But it means so much to me. Again, I go back to the fact that I'm so lucky to be playing this role and this character in this relationship on this show that has such an impact on so many people's lives. And I'm honored. And now I just feel the pressure to not screw it up is what ends up happening now, is I'm more kind of nervous, but it's overwhelming at times too. I really sometimes don't believe it. Like when you said fan favorite or the character so inspiring, or you get all these letters from across the world, it's still something my brain is still trying to process because I feel so lucky to be a part of that character. But it means so much to play the character and to be somebody that's representing an LGBTQ character on network television for so many people around the world to see. It's always a hard question to answer because I can't put into words how much it means to me to play this role.
I love hearing that. And you're right. The thing that I'm picking up on too that you said is network television. Like, of course, on a lot of streamers, you see more and more of that, but still on network television, I feel like there's not a ton of it. And I'm, a gay married man in New York City, and I grew up in 35, and I definitely didn't see that growing up. I mean, ever. So it's so cool to see that this exists for, the next generation and any generation, really,
I read all the letters that come in, and there was a letter once that there's a couple that I've had since that are like this, but the first one really struck a chord because it was a woman in her 60s that was like, I wish I had had that when I was that, a young, a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old, so a girl is trying to figure out, find herself, her identity. And that really struck a chord because it's changed so much, and not really that much time. So much has changed, and I'm so happy to be part of this wave of change. And I can't wait to see what the future holds and how many more network television shows have LGBTQ characters on them. Because I think, if anything, Station 19 is a testament that because so many networks, are just like, we can't, whatever the reasons are, stupid excuses. And it's so nice to know that, like, this is a perfect example. Yeah. It works, and that you guys shouldn't shy away from having characters that, so many people can respond to, I guess is the word.
Yeah, and good on you for knowing, how much it means to people and for taking care of that. And it seems like you take a lot of care of this role because you know that as well. And I think that's awesome.
Thanks, I'm trying.
Yeah, that's totally cool. Now, what would you say has been the biggest evolution for your character since season 1 to now?
Oh my gosh. Maya has changed and evolved so much. Yeah. I don't even know, like, it's not just one little thing. I think she's really come into her own a lot. I think it's sometimes hard when you're playing the character, you can't see all the little changes. But I mean, I think episode 1 during the pilot, my audition scene was being like the cheerleader, like the best friend to Andy that was like, this is what you got to do, and giving her the advice. And now Maya has that person for her is Karina, giving her advice what she should do, and her career. Like, it's just, she's changed so much. She's at a new place in her life. Before she was, fans always love to do that quote that Maya had, which was monogamy is for the weak. That's a perfect example of how Maya's changed. She used to have such a different outlook on life, and she's changed so much and matured so much and grown so much. She has so much more growth to do, and is still so flawed, and has some demons she needs to work out. But I love that she came into her own, and standing up to her parents, and specifically her dad, and being there for her mother. And there's been so much that it's hard to pinpoint one thing, but her evolution has been amazing to play as an actor, and I think amazing to watch as a viewer. So.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, there's more to come as well with it. So it's a really fun character to watch.
Yeah.
When you think back of all of your work, all of your scenes, and all of the different seasons, I know there's many, but do any stand out to you as some favorites, or ones you'll always kind of carry with you as special moments for you to act out and play?
The Marina wedding was pretty amazing. Like, it was that one I'll never forget, because we had so much fun. It was also this season finale. And so the season finales are just fun. It's kind of like the time when everyone in the cast, you start just joking around, you're about to be on break. It was so much fun to shoot, as well as the scene meant so much to us to shoot. So that was something I'll never forget. But I loved also, it was season 1, I believe. It might've been season 2. There was a scene on the porch with Andy, Maya, and Vic, where we're just like having fun. 3 strong female characters, like having a good time and talking about life. And I just love that scene, and I'll never forget it. And there's so many others, but those 2 really stick out to me. I love the scene too, when from an actor's standpoint, when Maya tells off the team and is angry at them and yells, just because I never get to do stuff like that. It was fun to do. But yeah, there's been so many scenes. I can't even, those are the 3. I could keep going. I could list so many that I remember and that mean something to me, but those, I guess, are the ones that stick out the most right now.
Solid choices, choices. When you think back of all your work on the show, what are you most proud of? Like, what makes you feel like, man, I'm proud I did that?
On the show specifically? Yeah. Or like just being part of the character?
Either or, whatever comes to mind.
I'm just proud to play this character. Like, I'm really proud to be a part of a Shondaland show that has 3, there's more now, but start out, 3 strong female leads, that has such a diverse cast and represents so many different communities and cultures. And like, I'm just so proud to be a part of it. Like, I sometimes can't believe I am. I think I've said that a couple times. But I'm really proud to be playing this character to the best of my ability on a show that means so much to so many people. Like, just really, really proud of that. And I think sometimes that's hard to say sometimes in our job. Sometimes we do shows that we're like, I'm just doing this. I'm not really in love with the character, in love with the show or whatever. But I've never been more proud to be a part of a show than Station 19.
And that's pretty cool that, oh, look at me, a little cameo. How cute.
He's passed out.
Oh, what a cutie. To be able to say that so many seasons in as well and not lose that kind of sparkle in your eyes, which I can so clearly see when you talk about the show and the series, that's pretty amazing. That's pretty remarkable.
It is, and it's not without its ups and downs. I've had moments where, of course, there's been days where I'm like, I need to challenge myself, or what's missing. And what's great is I have an amazing cast. I either talk to Stefania about my ups and downs, or I talk to Barrett, and we just kind of figure them out as we go along. But I think that's what's so great is I'm also proud to be a part of a show where it really is a family. Like, we really are a family, which I hope continues for seasons and seasons and seasons and seasons to come. So.
Oh, I love hearing that. It's always nice to see what you love on screen translates also to off screen in real life. I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
The winter finale. Now, I know the show's returning in February. Is that correct?
Yes, that's what I heard. Sometimes we don't even know this information.
So we think February, but the winter finale, a lot happened. So catch people up to speed. Just give like a quick recap on what happened before we move on.
For the whole show or just for Maya?
The winter finale for your character.
So the winter finale for my character, the biggest thing that happened is Karina and Maya announced to the entire station that they are going to have a baby. So that's the biggest thing that happened for Marina during the finale. There's a bunch of other stuff with other characters. I loved that finale episode. I thought Barrett Dawson and Gray did an amazing job. But yeah, that was what happened with Maya and Karina.
So can you tease us with what's to come in the next part of the series at all?
This is where I get myself in trouble. I start saying things I shouldn't say. I mean, they are, as of now, they've announced it. They're going to move forward with it. Let's see. I think the big question is who would be the sperm? I guess you could say. Who would be I don't think it's the father is the correct terminology, but who would be the donor, the sperm donor for the baby? And a lot of the information that kind of goes into it, it's now being two women in a relationship. There's going to be a lot of things that need to be discussed and figured out. And I think that's what we're going to see next. And I'm not going to say anything else because I'm afraid I'm going to let something slip.
No, I don't want to get you in trouble. I don't want to get you in trouble. But a lot of fans are speculating, could there be some rocky roads ahead? Is it going to be peaceful? So there's a lot of chatter out there.
And I don't even know sometimes, of course, there's a lot of big questions coming up. So I think it can't always just be smooth sailing, but we'll see.
Okay. I think it's an exciting time for the both of you because so much can happen, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It can go so many different ways. Me and Stefania have had so many conversations with the writers about where it's going and to kind of see and kind of give our opinions about, well, maybe what if it went this way? What if that went that way? I mean, we don't have the final say, but we've definitely been giving our opinions and thoughts on the situation. And I think for me too, because it's a little more personal, I'm kind of like a little bit more passionate about it some days than I should be.
That's pretty cool. So you and Stefania actually do have conversations with the teams about what could possibly happen.
Yeah, any actor has full access. That's another thing about Shauna Lynn that's so amazing. Full access to the writers at any time with any concerns, questions, thoughts, opinions. We really do have that policy. They have that policy where it's kind of like, we're here for you and we'll talk. And they do every time make time to talk to us about the characters. At the end of the day, it's their decision. It's their show. They're the ones writing it. But we do try our best to really, at least now for some reason, this storyline for sure is one that's, I'm kind of like, okay, but what are we going to do here? I'm asking a lot of questions, so.
Has there ever been something up to this point that you really, really pushed for with your character?
Not too much, because I was really kind of along for the ride and kind of seeing where they were going to go because of the dynamic with her dad and her mom. And like, every script I got, I didn't really have I was passionate about the way that the character was going. And there's so many facets to it and so many more nuances because we're dealing with the possibility of having a child between two people. So you're having to deal with so many different opinions and thoughts and emotions and feelings. It's just so much more layered than just back in the day or last season when it was just Maya dealing with her father and, helping her mother and things like that. It was a little more straightforward. This feels so much more layered. It's stressing me out.
A lot's to come. Hey, like I said, a lot's to come, which is amazing because it can go in a million different ways.
Yeah.
And, you know what I think is really cool too? I was reading that kind of as you're going through this on the show, a parallel is something really cool that you did that was so selfless, and a lot of fans wrote in about wanting to hear more about the story, which was donating your eggs to your gay best friend for the surrogate, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Which is incredible. So that's a huge decision. Like, talk to me about that. What made you say yes? Was that something you had to really think a lot about? I mean, especially like I said, as a married gay man myself, not knowing what our future holds with that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Thanks. It was me and Chris have been friends since we were 4 years old. It was never a tough decision. It was we've been like, Chris and I are like siblings that aren't blood related, basically. Like, our parents weren't even really close. They don't not like each other or anything, but Chris and I just had a bond, and we'd go out of our way to like see each other when we were kids and walk down the street and hang out. And like, we've always had this bond that, I don't know, we're each other's biggest supporters, I guess, is what you can say, and believers. And it was never, ever, ever a hesitation or a question. It was always just like, okay, so when are we doing it?
Yeah.
Because Chris and I always had, like, I was there with him. He's been with me for my entire career, the ups and downs, my, highs and lows and everything. And I've been there when he was coming out and like his whole evolution of life and what he's gone through. And we've just been with each other through so much. And our pact was like, if neither one of us is married by 40, we'll just marry each other. Like, for no reason, like, it's not like we're attracted to each other, but like, obviously, but
Right.
We'll just marry each other. Like, screw it, because we can't live life without each other. But then once Chris met Jake, it was very much like, he's like, you would be the mom. Like, not the mom, that's not the right terminology. You'd be the egg donor. And I was like, of course. Like, it's never, and then the time came and I was like, okay, let's do this. And he's like, now? I'm like, yeah, why not? I was like, you guys ready? And so it's kind of never been this tough decision. It's been something that's been so effortless. I really didn't know how much weight it held until the reaction I got from people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been weird. It's been weird in the sense that like I've had to learn so much about myself too going through this process. Because you have to have some people want to know the actual process of going through it, which if you and your husband decide to have children one day and the process you go through, there is so many sessions, like therapy sessions you have to go through to be able to even give your eggs, that it is an interesting process to just kind of yourself grow and learn and get asked questions that you've never thought of. Because just like going back to the Marina relationship, you're dealing with a human being. The egg retrieval was the easy part. It's like the questions about what will your title be? When will the child know? Like, how will that process be? So many things that you have to think of that are so unknown, because this child is going to have her own personality and her own opinions and her own desires. And so I'm rambling and I'm sorry. But
No, I think it's fascinating, and a lot of those stories are not told. And I think it's just not only inspiring, it shows like how selfless and cool you are, but it gives people hope. It makes them think like, wow, I have options too, and it is possible. And here's a story of how it's possible,
Yeah. It's so true. There are so many options out there, and it is possible. And I'm hoping that gives people hope. I love to hear that side of it too. Again, like I said, I didn't even realize the impact it was going to have. So I'm glad that it shows people that too. Like, it really is, anything is possible these days. And families don't just look like what the traditional family is back in the day, that we were told what it should look like. Like, families are so unique and diverse and beautiful in their own ways. And yeah, I love being a part of that family. So,
well, this is one of the millions of reasons why you're such an ally to the community, and they just, like I said, wrote to me so many beautiful messages about you and what you mean to them, playing that character and supporting, the community. So it's cool. Good on you. I love it. I love it.
Thanks.
I love it. It's so much fun. All right, I'm gonna get to a few fan questions.
Yeah.
So these were some of the most popular questions I received over and over and over again. So that's kind of how I narrow them down. Then I sprinkled a few in the interview already too. But the first question, which I really liked, is how has playing Maya helped or changed your life in any way?
I mean, it's helped a lot, because I think her strength is infectious. Like, she's got this strength and this drive that I feel like I wish I personally had, or I'm trying to have. And she's got flaws too. But I think, yeah, I think she's really inspired me personally to have more of that strength. I think some of these questions are so hard because I'm like, I wonder what has changed and what has evolved. And also, I think the opportunity to play Maya and the impact that the characters had has changed me as a person a lot. Realizing that the character I play, the things I say, even as Danielle too, like make an impact now in the world. And yeah, it's changed me a lot, and I hope all for the better, but I am still flawed and learning as I go. But yeah, I think that answers the question, I think.
Yes, very cool. Amazing. The next question, okay, if anyone watching is not totally caught up on the show, a little bit of a spoiler alert, I'm warning you. So you might want to close your ears for 2 minutes. Close them if you're not caught up. Okay, what was it like saying goodbye to your buddy, Dean? Were you surprised by that storyline?
I'm not going to get myself in trouble for this. I have to be careful what I say. It wasn't surprising because we knew it was coming as a cast. Okay. We kind of we come to terms with it at the beginning of the season. It was announced to us. And it was a bittersweet moment. I know that Oak was ready to try new things and to venture out and try new things. So I was excited for Oak and what's to come for him. I'm obviously sad to be that we lost Dean Miller for so many reasons. I think he was such a great character. He'll live on the show, like a great character of the show. And obviously we're showing that in the characters' reactions and having to deal with him leaving. I think that that's very personal, especially to characters that had a lot of scenes with him. Like you're losing like a limb basically, like, oh, this character's gone. Yeah. From an actor standpoint, it obviously adds a lot of, scenes and drama and things that you can do, but it's bittersweet. I'm happy for Oak and what's to come for him. But I'm sad that the show lost such a great character. And, so yeah, it's bittersweet. It's definitely bittersweet, but we had some time to kind of sit with it too, because we found out so early in the season, and then we were just kind of like, how's this going to happen? Like, it was more just, we didn't have the script as to like, what's going to happen. And I think that's what we were kind of like waiting around to find out, like, how's this all going to go down? And then we got the script and we all cried and yeah. And we had our moment and yeah, so it's bittersweet, but I'm really excited for Oak. I think he's doing another show already right now. And yeah, I'm excited to see him in that because he's an amazing actor. So.
For sure. Amazing. A couple more fan questions. I love this one. If you could choose to show something from Maya's past on the show, what would you want to show? Ooh,
that is a great question. From her past.
Yeah.
I loved was that season 3? Season 3, I think. When like we flash back to so many stories from her past, like it was Maya's first love. And like, I would love to see more of that gap between, how Maya became an Olympian, I think fascinates me, but also the trajectory of like how her brother became homeless and on the streets and an addict, and how, like, I'm missing that piece where I've made up a story in my head of what that could be, but I would love to see that. And that, because we've seen Maya evolve so much from being a firefighter to being a captain to being demoted to finding love to wanting to have children. Like, but I would love to go back one of these days, maybe season 19, and kind of fill that gap of like, where did that? I think that's what's fascinating about all the characters is like I said, all the actors bring so much to it, and they're so nuanced. It'd be fascinating to see where that comes from. So
okay, more to come. Maybe a writer or two's watching and they're just inspired,
Like I said, maybe in season 19 and season 11, we'll figure it out.
There we go. One day, we'll see. 2 more fan questions. Yeah. What is one of your favorite behind-the-scenes moments with Stefania?
Oh my God, we have so many. Oh my God, we laugh a lot. There's like, I don't know. Usually when we're acting wacky, we dance a lot, we laugh a lot. Usually when I can get her to eat chocolate like me, like we're on the same level, then we're both like hyper. Because
Are you a chocoholic?
Yes, and then every once in a while, she'll be in a mood where she wants chocolate or candy as well. And the next thing you know, we're eating candy. She's usually got Skittles or some sort of Italian chocolate that she's like requested in the scene to have. And I'm eating chocolate and we're dancing in between takes and we just have so much fun. Yeah, I'm like trying to think of a specific one, but it happens almost every time. Unless like there's something going on where we can't act like goofballs, like a really emotional scene or something. Although those have been amazing too. Like getting to have the emotional scenes with Stefania and be there for each other. When I had emotional scenes, she was such a rock that I could lean on during those scenes, and vice versa when she had to do her emotional scenes. Yeah, it's just so many good scenes, but so many good things that we've had and behind the scenes moments. But I do love when we get to be goofballs and dance and laugh, and then they call action and we're still like being goofballs and we're like, okay, get it together, get it together. Yeah, we have a blast.
I feel like a blooper reel may or may not need to come out.
We have one every season that ABC makes that we get to see as cast, but we don't have it. It's not physically ours. But I would love it one day if they would put those out there because they are so funny to see all the bloopers and the outtakes from everybody, every cast member. So one day.
Maybe one day. One day. We'll see. If the fans start petitioning, then there you go.
There you go. Uh-oh, I might have started something.
You may have. I will see. No, I'm starting it. Last fan question, and I thought this was just a really fun kind of personality question. Yeah. What posters filled your bedroom as a kid?
You know what's funny? I didn't have a ton of posters. I felt like I had like drawings and art and like magazine clippings of like articles and stuff on my walls more than posters. But I would say the biggest thing oh my gosh, this is going to date me, isn't it? Like my biggest thing I was probably obsessed with when I was younger was like Spice Girls.
Oh, I mean, how could you not be? Come on.
Right?
How could you not be? Who was your favorite one?
Well, I always wanted to be Posh Spice because she just was so cool. But everybody was like, no, but you have to be Baby Spice. Because like we like dressed up, me and a bunch of girlfriends like dressed up as the Spice Girls and I had to be Baby Spice, which was awesome too. But I really, really, really wanted to be Posh Spice.
I was always sporty, so there you go.
That's amazing. Though, did you ever dress up too, like as the Spice Girls?
I mean, I like carried a baseball bat around me being like, I'm 40. A little weird, but yeah, that was my version of dressing up. They were the it thing of the 90s. Come on.
They were, I mean, oh my gosh, Spice Girls, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Jessica Simpson, like Mandy Moore. There's so many like, but I never really had posters. I think the only poster I might have had was Spice Girls.
Okay, well, it was a solid choice, so I stand by that. I was the same way. I didn't have many posters, but I loved horror growing up. I still do, and I had an I Know What You Did Last Summer poster with Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Really? You like great. Horror films?
Love horror. I just interviewed the cast of the new Scream, and I died.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys, just so you know, I grew up watching you. And they're like, weren't you like 10 when the first one came out? I'm like, yeah, and I watched it. Like, I grew up watching them.
What is your favorite horror film of like all time?
Oh man, I mean, I love the Scream franchise. That's like top. I love the Halloweens. I'm not really into like the supernatural ones.
Okay.
Not for me.
Interesting. Like, what would be a supernatural one?
You know, like the Ring with the ghosts and the spirits. Like, I don't want that.
Okay.
I like a good like slasher film.
Which is more realistic, which you think would be scarier, because someone could just go around and kill people. Not very dark.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. You're right. Well, I don't know. Spirits to me freak me out, like because you can't see that, so I don't want to mess around with that. Got
it. I'm not the big horror films scare me. I'm the opposite. I'm like, I don't want to watch it. I want to watch like a comedy, but I do love like dark thrillers, which sometimes are even scarier than horror movies.
Because those could be even more realistic.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. I love that you love horror films.
Oh, I love it. I know people like looking at me wouldn't guess that. I'm like, no, I love horror. Like I wrote a movie that my agents and I are playing around with. So yeah, big fan. I
love that. That's awesome.
So that's the last fan question. 2 more questions. I know you've been so generous with your time, and then I'll let you wrap up.
I'm happy.
Your dog back there is like, hey, Mom, pay attention to me.
We played for a while to make sure he was as tired, because a lot of times if I have to do Zooms and he's like running around the background, I'm like, I'm sorry.
Oh.
He got to run around the background for quite some time before we went live.
So cute. You know, because you are somebody who inspires so many people, I always love asking certain people this question, and you're one of them. And that would be, what is a piece of advice you wish your younger self had known that could help anybody watching today?
Love yourself.
Mm.
Like, for yourself. Like, love all the unique, quirky, weird, funny, oddball things about yourself and embrace them, because they're what make you special and unique and you. And yeah, love yourself. I think sometimes we struggle a lot with that. At least I do. People I know do. Like, we try to like fit into some box that why? Like, what makes us unique and beautiful is all of our weird stuff, that you love horror films and that I love Spice Girls. Like,
Right.
so yeah, I think that's what I would say.
Perfect. It's a beautiful reminder that no matter where you are in your life, what profession you're in, I mean, we all have to remember that, especially at the start of a new year. I love that message.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And lastly, for all of your fans who are watching, who have stood by your side and, you know, been your biggest cheerleaders and are just Team Danielle all the way, what do you want to say to everyone before we go?
Oh, I would say thank you. I get emotional when you say stuff like this. No, they're amazing. I can't like say thank you enough to every single one of them. Tommy, what have you done? No, yeah, I can't say it enough. Like, thank you. I know that you said that I'm an inspiration to them, but they really are an inspiration to me to be a better person, to be the best person I can be. And I hope I'm doing a good job out here.
Oh, well, it's safe to say you are doing a good job. Thank you so much for hanging out. I love talking to you. I could talk to you for hours. It's been so much fun.
This has been a blast. Thank you.
So much fun. Hopefully I'll get to interview you in person one day at some sort of Station 19 event. Oh, I should do like a behind the scenes tour with Extra and come visit you guys when COVID's calmer.
Yeah, I think that would be amazing. I would love that.
Be cool. Well, again, thank you. I love chatting with you. For everybody tuned in, I'm going to post this right after on my feed so you can watch it or rewatch it if you joined halfway through. And I am cheering you on, and we all can't wait for what's to come with the show.
Thank you. Have a great 2022.
You too. You too. Be well, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.